Hi guys, I think something's going on up there that they don't want us to know about. It's been a big week for NASA. First, the much-loved Hubble Space Telescope entered safe mode after one of the gyroscopes that points it in the right direction failed. Then there was a mid-flight failure of a Russian Soyuz rocket on Thursday morning, resulting in the safe emergency landing of cosmonaut Alexei Ovechkin and astronaut Nick Hague, something that's left the space organization without a way to get people into space, and the crew of the ISS, International Space Station, marooned. Now the Chandra X-ray Observatory is having issues. The observatory, which has been showing us the universe in incredible detail since 1999, entered safe mode on Wednesday, October the 10th. Safe mode is basically a protective configuration that keeps the telescope stable until ground control can work out what's going on and get the mission back on track. NASA isn't sure what's caused the problem with Chandra, but it suspects it might also involve a gyroscope. All systems functioned as expected, and the scientific instruments are safe. The cause of the safe mode transition is under investigation, and we will post more information when it becomes available. Gyroscopes are important because they help spacecraft stay orientated properly. To add to NASA's woes, its Mars rover opportunity since June 10th, when a dust storm kept its solar panels from getting sunlight. Its planet-hunting telescope Kepler is almost out of fuel, as is the Dawn spacecraft. Not on this list of things that's going wrong is the closing of the Solar Observatory in New Mexico and the incident on the International Space Station where someone supposedly drilled a hole in the International Space Station. Don't ask me how that's even possible. But there's clearly something unusual going on with all the observation equipment that NASA has, and it could be a purposeful thing, or it could be they actually don't know what's going on. Obviously, I think the former. In relation to believing in all of this stuff, I'm just bringing you the report and let you know what's going on out there. So I'm not giving you my beliefs on that. Coming down to Earth, Yellowstone, the USGS warns earthquake monitoring GPS stations have been destroyed at a certain location, not all of them. Yellowstone Volcano Observatory warned GPS ground deformation trackers near active Yellowstone fault lines have been obliterated by lightning strikes, if you can believe such a thing. The United States Geological Survey confirmed none of its instruments at Swatell Peak Station P361 are transmitting data. GPS station P361 is a crucial element of the USGS network of trackers near active Yellowstone volcano faults. The instruments at P361 are located at an important site about 18.64 miles west of the Yellowstone National Park border in Idaho. Geologists at the USGS use a network of GPS stations around the supervolcano to measure the ground for signs of ground deformation. So I'm not going to continue to read the whole report. Basically, it's in that kind of first block of writing there. Something is obviously going on at Yellowstone as well. The Steamboat Geyser eruptions, the Ear Spring eruption, the 100-foot crack, the multiple earthquakes, the ground deformation, and now GPS ground deformation trackers, in my opinion, being taken offline. I don't believe that they were taken out by lightning strikes. Come on, how many lightning storms every year? It just doesn't make sense. So obviously something's going on there as well. Keep an eye on that. Perfect. Go. I wanted to put a warning out for the UK, London particularly, on the 25th or the 27th. The reason for that is you guys know that I've often interpreted the shark here is as a submarine, one attacking the east coast, but also because of the shape of the head, which makes up a pound coin symbol, something to do with the UK as well. And I think the mouth with the number 2 and the teeth either representing the number 5 or the number 7 makes me want to give a warning for October the 25th and October the 27th. That would be prior to October the 31st, where I think Iran's going to come out and block the Strait of Hormuz. And if something happens in the UK that they blame in Iran for, then that makes a little bit more sense. I've always kind of stuck with the theory that I think something's going to happen to London first, and that could be another interpretation for the LHN in this reference, which is London, Hawaii, and then New York. Excuse me, got a cough. In my opinion, 11-1 is when we see maybe the possibility of the Kilauea volcano erupting again at fissure number 8, this time splitting off at the Hilena slump into the ocean. I believe that would be just around midnight, and then the tsunami that will be generated, I think, would take about 2 hours to cross the distance between Hawaii and, say, for example, California, and that would make it arrive on 11-2 for the west coast, which I think is again interpreted in the clock here. If that's 12 o'clock Kilauea Hawaii eruption, 2 hours for the tsunami to cross the distance, then we know that we've got a small indentation of at the number 2 point here. Can't really see it in this frame. See if I can. No, the words are in the way. Hold on. See if I can. Okay, maybe you can see it, just a small indentation at the number 2 point. So eruption at 12, tsunami arrives by 2 o'clock. I think that would be obviously morning, so 11-1 Hawaii, 11-2 the west coast, and then it gets on to 11-3, which I talked about, and I think that's when the nuclear detonations are used to generate a tsunami on the east coast, and then following after that on 11-5 is when we have the submarines that are followed behind the tsunami launching their missiles. 11-2 with the west coast would be the Day of the Dead, and if the submarines start launching their missiles on 11-5 on the east coast, then that would be fireworks night, another kind of cross-representation there. This is just where I kind of wanted to point out actually that you've got obviously the 23, which could be interpreted as 11, and then the small indentation, almost invisible, of the number 3 here, which again could be 11-3. And over here you may have just 11-1, just like 3 lines going down, closer lines together. This one's a bit more distant. Again, could be just snow, but they don't put anything in this video that doesn't have any meaning, so it's possible that that could be 11-1 and going on to 11-3. 11-1 being the Hawaii Kilauea eruption tsunami, and 11-3 being the nuclear detonation East Coast tsunami, possibly. So I just wanted to put that out there for the 25th or the 27th, depending on how this is supposed to be interpreted, either as a 7 or as a V with the number 2 inside. 25th, 27th, London, 31st, Iran, 11-1, Hawaii, 11-2, California or West Coast, 11-3, New York or East Coast, 11-5, submarine missile launches. Haven't tracked anything past that unless it interprets into the other dates which I have, which is 11-10 and 11-11. But just focusing on this particular time frame for now. Excuse me. Cough. Looking around that time frame, we have the Invictus Games, and I've already spoken my piece about what I think of Prince Harry and what I think he's involved currently in Australia. The Invictus Games ends on the 27th of October, which obviously would be one of the days I just warned about. So if anything does happen in the UK, particularly in London, if anything happens to the royal family, you've got at least one royal in line for succession. I think he's number 6 in line. He could very easily become King Harry while he's abroad during this Invictus Games, where they emphasize the I am, which is a Antichrist against God reference. And at the same time, they decided not to announce their, expected child or their pregnancy in the UK. They decided to do it in Australia. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have announced they are expecting a child just hours after landing in Sydney for the Invictus Games. So you would think, considering they are part of the royal family of the UK, they would have announced that in the UK. They obviously didn't discover she was pregnant while she was on the plane, so they decided to announce it while abroad. So again, if anything happens to the royal family, you've got King Harry that could then go in, and he's already got an heir which will be born next year, between March and May. So it's all looking very suspicious. And just to tie in with the theory of maybe something happening on the 25th or the 27th in the UK prior to Iran going out on the 31st of October to block the Strait of Hormuz, the reports are out there that there's fears that Iran is planning terror attacks across Europe after the Paris plot. So fears are growing. Iran could be plotting a wave of terror attacks across Europe and North America after a plot to bomb a massive Iranian opposition rally was foiled, it has been claimed. In July, an Iranian diplomat and a couple of Iranian descendants, I don't know, were arrested in Germany and Belgium, respectively, on suspicion of plotting to bomb an Iranian dissidents' rally in Paris. The supposed diplomat, Vienna-based Asadullah Asadi, had provided the couple with explosives and a detonator. So you can see they've already got it kind of lined up, and it's already been, getting lined up for a while. But again, it's just there's fears that Iran could perpetrate a terror attack across Europe. Obviously, the UK is part of Europe. So, if, for example, something was to happen here, an underground bomb, a chemical attack on the Israeli embassy, an attack on the O2, something like that, those are kind of 3 things I've looked at in terms of the events that could possibly happen there. Maybe the royal family gets caught up in it, but not Prince Harry because he's abroad. And then obviously, following on from that, if they're blaming Iran, they're going to go to war with Iran. Iran's going to come out and block the Strait of Hormuz with their navy ships. Israel, the US, whoever else is going to launch aerial strikes on Iran. Iran's going to retaliate. You've got Russia there. And obviously, then the very next day, something happens at the Hawaii Kilauea volcano, affecting the Pacific Basin and the West Coast. And then the next day after that, so you've got 11:01, 12 o'clock, 11:02, 2 a.m. California, then California, Hawaii, then 11:03, you get into New York, East Coast, another tsunami. That's your two coasts heavily affected, and then having, most likely decimated the naval bases along the coast. You can approach with the submarines, really mostly unchallenged, and launch an attack. And then at the same time, from the Epic Go-To video, looking out for potential hurricane around that time as well. And then you've also worry about the possibility of an EMP or cyber attack, blackout, some sort of event that causes the electricity to go out, and martial law and everything else. So all of that would be occurring just before the Iran oil sanctions go into place. The Iran-EU decision on the Iran nuclear deal is to be announced before November the 4th. So if something happens on October the 25th or October the 27th in the UK or around Europe that causes Europe to turn on Iran, then this announcement that they have planned probably won't go ahead. Instead, you'll get the scenario we talked about, war kicking off with Iran first, and then Hawaii, the west coast, the east coast, and submarine missile launches. Excuse me. Oh, this cough is annoying. Last but not least, in relation to the missile launches, I believe are going to be on level 5. The Russian government has released terrifying footage showing a submarine carrying out a mock atomic bomb strike in what the Ministry of Defense claimed was a drill against an enemy attack. So they're prepared, they're doing, this is the video I'm going to hopefully get to play. There we go. So it's just as seen many times before, a missile coming up out of a submarine, but this is obviously a nuclear missile test. Obviously it's not a real one they've got in there, but it's a test for a real one. And with these missiles, they can carry multiple warheads, for example, 4. So if they launch one missile and 4 warheads are able to spread out along the east coast, generate that tsunami, or even if that's not the cause of the tsunami, they can use torpedoes for the tsunami, and then on the 11th, or sorry, on the 5th of November, that's when they can use all these SLBMs, nuclear tipped or not, but you know, considering what they're practicing for, it may be that some are. So I think I've covered everything I want to cover. Hopefully you guys could hear me clearly. Sorry for the cough. I've got a very itchy throat at the moment, and make me struggle to talk without coughing. So that's why I've been talking a bit more slowly with a lot more breaks in between the words. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.